So this is a long section which Arjuna then begins to talk about what he is seeing, what his experience is, and also it gives us a glimpse as to really what Arjuna is experiencing. And it also shows us, what the kind of wonder it is. The immeasurable, infinite glories of the Lord contained within this one reality. This is what Arjuna is now going to describe. So Arjuna starts by saying, I see all gods, O God, in your body. Host of various classes of beings, Brahma, the Lord of creation, seated on the lotus, all the rishis and celestial serpents. So he's seeing Brahma, Vishnu, Mahesh in one. What does that indicate? It indicates the totality of the creation is available to him in this one vision. And he says, I see boundless form on every side with manifold forms, arms, stomach, mouths, eyes, neither the end, nor the middle, nor the beginning do I see. He can't see the end, he can't see the beginning, he can't even see the middle. And he sees this boundless form containing everything on all sides, manifold forms and stomachs and mouths and everything else. And he says, I see the crown, the club, the discus, the mass of radiance shining everywhere, very hard to look at, all around blazing like the burning sun and the burning fire, incomprehensible. He's just trying to make sense of this. And he can see crown, club, and discus. This is the kind of symbolic form of Lord Vishnu, which we kind of very familiar with. And this is what Arjuna is seeing. And he says, imperishable, the supreme being, worthy to be known, you are the great treasure house of this universe. You are the imperishable protector of the eternal Dharma. In my opinion, you are the ancient Purusha, Nirguna. He is describing the Nirguna aspect of the divine. Next, he goes on to say, you without beginning, middle, end, infinite in power, endless arms, the sun, moon, being your eyes, the burning mouth, your mouth, burning fire, your mouth, heating the whole universe with your radiance. Now he's describing the cosmic form, which is the Saguna form. Then he goes on to describe all this divinity, which is filling up all the quarters, all the three worlds, this middle world, the higher world, and the lower world. And he says, the space between earth and heavens, all the quarters are filled by you alone. And your wonderful, terrible form, the three worlds are trembling with fear. O great soul being, the three worlds, trembling with fear. It is such a powerful vision which is having, which he himself going to start trembling, as we will see. So going on further, he says, you enter those hosts of devas, some extol you in fear with joined palms. May it be well, thus saying, bands of great rishis and siddhas praise you with hymns sublime. Wonderful. So all the rishis, siddhas, everybody is kind of praising him. And there are people who are the devas, the rishis, the siddhas, the bands, everybody is praising him with hymns sublime. The Rudras, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvavedas, Devas, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, all these are different beings which are present there, and they are all looking at you quite astonished. Everybody is astonished because they can see this wonderful divine form. Having seen your immeasurable form, many mouths, many eyes, many arms, and this is one way of describing it, that we can see so many different things, and all of these are contained within this one reality. And all the worlds are terrified, and so too am I. Arjuna is also terrified because it is something, which he has never, of course, seen before. And it is so vast in its vision, incomprehensible. He can't even begin to comprehend what is going on. But he's beginning to describe and see some of the things which he can at least get hold of and say, yes, I'm seeing this and I'm seeing that. And he's saying now, on seeing you with your form touching the sky, flaming in all colors, mouths wide open, large fiery eyes, I'm terrified at heart, and I find neither courage nor peace, O Vishnu. So we would have thought that, this divine vision which he's going to have will bring him enormous joy, devotion. But here, what is he talking about? Terrified in my heart. And he's saying, I'm neither finding the courage nor the peace. But of course, it has got its own understanding of why this is happening. It's because Arjuna is being given this special divine eyes, and therefore implying that he himself has not got the capacity to see it at that moment. And therefore being given this eyes means that he has got this extra something which has been given to him by Bhagwan when he was not yet ready to kind of, in a strict sense, not yet ready to see this. And therefore this kind of experiences and responses begin to arise in him. So he says, I know not four quarters, nor do I find peace. So he is not able to see the end and the beginning of anything, this vastness of, the space which is there before him. And he says, I can't see any of the four quarters, nor do I find peace. This complete kind of disorientation which is taking place. Why? Because there is nothing which he can relate to. Because his, sense of this consciousness has expanded so vastly that even to locate himself in space, he says, I cannot find myself in these four quarters. This kind of disorientation is taking place. And what he's saying here, all the sons of Dhritarashtra with the host of king of the earth, Bhishma, Drona, son of charity, Karna, chieftain of ours, all this he can see as well. Into your mouths, terrible teeth, and fearful to behold, they precipitately enter. And some of them are sticking in the gaps between the teeth, heads crushed into pulp. What is he seeing? He's being shown something in the future. What is going to happen to the Kauravas? And this is what he's describing now. Torrents of river flow towards the ocean. So the heroes in the world of men enter your flaming mouth. Everything is going into this flaming mouth. And he can describe it in the way in which he's describing torrents of river which flow towards the ocean, just like all the rivers which flow into that one ocean. All these things, and in this case, he's describing the heroes, they're entering into the flaming mouth. And Arjuna says, as the moth rushed hurriedly into the blazing fire of their own destruction, so also these creatures hastily into your mouth of destruction. So, the kind of way in which he's describing is also according to the principles we already studied before. The principle of existence, the principle of consciousness, the principle of infinity, imperishable truth which is there, and how everything is in this phenomenal world related to this ultimate principle, the absolute principle. And this is what he's saying through his description. And he says, devouring all worlds on all sides with your flaming mouths, you are licking your fierce rays, filling the whole world with radiance and burning. Tell me who you are, so fierce in form. Salutation to you, O God Supreme. Have mercy, I desire to know you, the original being. I know not indeed your purpose. So again, his mind is kind of, in this state whereby he wants to find out who is this fierce form? Who are you really? Salutations to you. I need to know, I desire to know your original being. In other words, he wants to know where all this is coming from. So this cosmic vision is related to the creation, remember? And he wants to know what is the source of this vision which he's having. I want to know the original being, because I know not indebted your purpose. In other words, that he is trying to find out, first of all, what is the origin? What is this creation? How can I see this wonderful creation in this one reality? And in a sense, what is the purpose of this ultimate reality descending into this creation? I also want to know that as well. So here are some of the descriptions which are, given in the scriptures. This is a very old kind of what you call sculpture, which is I think more than 2,000-3,000 years old, which is showing this this vision of the divine, the universal vision. And of course, there are modern depictions, but of course, they cannot capture what Arjuna is saying. These are only ways in which we can begin to visualize, all the kind of things which he's saying into that one vision of the truth. And here we can get a glimpse of, what it might have been for Arjun to see this wonderful form. So here we are. So then, of course, the Blessed Lord, in answer to his previous question, what does he say? I am the mighty world-destroying time. I am Kala, I'm time, now engaging in destroying the worlds. Even without you, none of these warriors arrayed in hostile armies shall live. Now, why I have put this in this box is because we have to start thinking, do some contemplation as to why Bhagwan has spoken like this. And what is the relationship between what he's talking about now and Arjuna's original condition and his anxieties about these people are going to be killed. Remember, Bhagwan is the master teacher, so that he is connecting all what is teaching now to what was related before. And it is in the service of guiding Arjuna, so that he begins to see what from this, just what this one verse, that none of these warriors you see before you, none of them shall live, because I am the world destroying time. Everything gets destroyed. And in that sense, the principle of creation, sustenance, and destruction is in my hands. I am the creator, the sustainer, and the destroyer of everything. So if you're worried about this person is going to die, what is going to happen, blood will be on my hands, I'm telling you now, none of these things are going to remain. They are all going to die. And then another very important point. Therefore, stand up and obtain fame. Conquer the enemies. Enjoy the flourishing kingdom. Verily by myself, they have already been slain. Prarabdha karma is unfolding for us moment to moment, even in your life and my life. And what do we have to say? Not come up with arguments. I can't do this. This is too difficult for me. This is what is bothering me. This is giving me grief. This is giving me bhaya, fear. The important thing here, conquer the enemies. Not only these enemies outside, he says, conquer those enemies within yourself and flourish. Flourish in this life, because everything has just been predetermined. You are just an instrument. And as an instrument, O left-handed archer, Sachin, he says, you just do your duty. And this is again connected to the whole guidance of the Gita, the principles on what Lord Krishna is telling us, is that if you live your life in such a way as just the instrument of the Lord, doing your dharma, doing your karma yoga in the station and stage of your life, you begin to turn towards the highest reality. Therefore, stand up and fight. For us, it's not about standing up and fighting. It's about doing our dharma, being the instrument. Chapter number 3, verse number 30 summarizes how we should live in this world, transact in the world. And he says, all these brave warriors, those have already been slain by me. You do kill. Be not be distressed with fear. Fight and you shall conquer your enemies in battle. And of course, fight in a certain way. Fight in what way? In the yajna spirit, the karma yoga way, the dharmic way, and according to the station and stage in life, according to the role we are playing, we should do that in our own life, be the instrument of the Lord, because everything is just going to flow as it is. Like Gurudev tells us, prarabdha is what you face. Purusharth is your response to whatever you face. Sadhana is our response to the unfolding karma of our life. And as much as we can respond in this kind of dharmic, spiritual way, we begin to go towards the ultimate destination of our life. Again, a wonderful kind of description by Bhagwan here. So then again, back to Sanjay, he says, having heard that speech of Keshava Krishna, Arjuna, with joined palms, trembling and prostrating himself again and again, addressed Krishna in a choked voice, bowing down, overwhelmed with fear. Now he has kind of at least grasped somewhere what Bhagwan is himself. And he says, it is but fitting, O Rishikesh, the world delights and rejoices in thy praise. Rakshasas fly in fear to all quarters, and all hosts of Siddhas bow to thee. So, and why should they not? He says, the primal cause even of Brahma, infinite being, or lords of the lords, the abode of the universe, you are imperishable. And that which is beyond both the manifest and the unmanifest. So see how Arjuna is also beginning to glimpse the ultimate reality from all this creation which has come about, and he sees not only the imperishable, but he's also seeing the manifest, and he's saying, no wonder, these Rakshasas are flying in fear in all directions, and all the Siddhas are bowing down to thee. And further on, this is now really the all-in-one experience, and you are the primal God, the ancient Purusha, supreme refuge of this universe, knower, the knowable, the abode supreme, the universe pervading infinite forms contained in this one reality, all in one, having the vision of diverse objects in this one reality. Your Vayu, Yama, Agni, Varuna, think of whatever you can. The great grandfather of all. Salutations, 1,000 times salutations, and again salutations unto you. This is what comes out. This is why he has to salute again and again, because he can see this wonderful transcendental reality, the created reality, his kind of vision of this whole thing. And he says, salutation to you 1,000 times. And salutation to you before and behind, salutation to you on every side, on all sides. Infinite in power, infinite in prowess, pervading all. Wherefore you are the all. Whatever I have rashly said. Now see how the kind of thought process changes. And of course, we know that Lord Krishna and Arjuna were great friends. And, and he says, whatever I rashly said carelessly or from carelessness or love, addressing you as, O Krishna, O Yadav, O friend, regarding you merely as a friend, unknowing of this greatness of yours. He says, in whatever way I have insulted you for the sake of fun, while play, reposing, whatever. He says, I implore you to forgive. What do you think is the lesson for us here? Think about it. Contemplate. That's the exercise for you. Another exercise to contemplate on what this means. Very important message here. Forgiveness. Okay. So, continuing further, he says, you are the father of this world, moving and unmoving. You are to be adored by this world. You are the greatest guru, for there exists none who is equal to you. How can there be then another superior to you in these three worlds, or being of unequal power? Is now kind of putting things into, their order and this place. Therefore, bowing down, prostrating my body, I crave your forgiveness, adorable Lord, as a father forgiveth his son, a friend his friend, a lover his beloved, even so you should forgive me, O Deva. So imagine the kind of emotions which Arjuna is going through. Imagine that, this Krishna, who he used to call his friend, and not knowing the reality of Krishna, he says, I may have said things and done things, please forgive me. And I crave for your forgiveness, adorable Lord. And just like father to the son, friend to a friend, lover to beloved, you should also forgive me. So remember this forgiveness. I think, forgiveness not only to the world around us, but forgiveness for ourselves. And what effect it has. And I've seen this many times when I'm in some of my counseling sessions, is that when that moment comes, when that sense of forgiveness comes of somebody who has done harm to this person, it is a moment full of intense emotion. And it kind of removes this huge obstacle which is there, through which one cannot have a relationship with anybody. That begins to dissolve. And imagine what it can do for us. Even just simply using some of these principles can make a lot of difference to us. So going further, he says, I am delighted, having seen what you was never seen before, yet my mind is distressed with fear. Go back to your previous form. Show me your previous form only, O God. Have mercy, O God of gods, abode of the universe. He says, yeah, thank you very much. I've seen, and it is really kind of, taken hold of me. My consciousness, my thoughts, my feelings, even my body, I don't know where it is located. I desire to see you as before, crowned, bearing a mace with discus in hand. He wants to see this classical form of Vishnu, and having 4 arms, 1,000 arms, or universal form. So let me see something which I can manage with my mind. Okay, so this is his plea. And again, to remind ourselves, this is the kind of pathway which is being followed in chapter number 10, 11, and going further. In the next chapter, Bhagavan brings all these elements together, which is the final kind of chapter on the divine, the discourse on the divine. And then, of course, we go to the next part, the last section of the Bhagavad Gita, which is about the relationship between the Jiva and Ishvara, between the individual and the totality. And that starts off with a wonderful chapter, number 13, of the Kshetra and Kshetrajna, which we'll come to later. So one in all in one, and then one reality. This is a pathway which we need to follow. And wherever we are, we have to kind of focus our attention, our sadhana on that part.